If you are listening right now and you understand English quite well, but still feel nervous when you speak, this episode is made especially for you. Today, we are starting a 10-day speaking challenge, and the heart of this challenge is shadowing. Not fast shadowing, not stressful shadowing, but calm, slow, controlled shadowing that trains your brain and your mouth to work together. Many learners know a lot of English, but the connection between listening and speaking is weak. Shadowing repairs that connection step by step.
Yes, and before we go deeper, I want to say something very important. Shadowing is not about copying sounds perfectly like a robot. It's about training rhythm, flow, and confidence. When you shadow, you are telling your brain, it's safe to speak now. For many learners, fear blocks fluency more than grammar ever does. Shadowing lowers that fear because you are never speaking alone. You are walking with the language, not fighting it.
Exactly. In this 10-day challenge, we are not chasing perfection. We are building comfort. On day 1, your only goal is to stay with the sound. Even if you miss words, even if your pronunciation feels strange, you continue. That continuation is the real training. Fluency grows when your brain learns not to stop. Many learners stop too often because they judge themselves while speaking. Shadowing removes that pause for judgment.
And there's something very physical happening here. When you shadow, your mouth muscles learn English patterns. This is similar to learning music or sports. You don't think about every movement, you repeat, you feel, and your body adjusts. That's why people who only study grammar often feel blocked when speaking. Their brain knows English, but their mouth is not trained. Shadowing trains the mouth gently and naturally.
Let's also talk about speed, because this is where many learners fail. Faster is not better. In this challenge, slow English is powerful English. When you shadow slow, clear speech, your brain has time to connect sound, meaning, and movement. If you shadow something too fast, you may repeat sounds without understanding. We want understanding and expression to grow together. That balance creates real speaking ability.
Another mistake learners make is trying to shadow for too long. They think more time means more progress, but quality matters more than quantity. Even 10 or 15 minutes of focused shadowing is enough if you are fully present. It's better to shadow a short section many times than to rush through a long one once. Repetition builds familiarity, and familiarity builds confidence.
In this challenge, we also encourage you to listen first. Don't rush to speak immediately. Listen once or twice. Let your brain absorb the rhythm, the emotion, and the structure. Then shadow. When you do this, your speaking sounds more natural because you are not forcing words out. You are following a path that already exists. This is how children learn language, and it still works for adults.
I also want to talk about mindset on day 1. Many learners feel embarrassed speaking out loud, especially alone. But speaking alone is not strange, it's training. Athletes practice alone, musicians practice alone. Speaking English out loud, even by yourself, is one of the strongest habits you can build. Shadowing gives you a reason to speak without feeling silly, because you are responding to real language.
That's why this challenge works best if you choose a quiet, comfortable place, somewhere you feel safe making mistakes. Mistakes are not errors here. They are signals that your system is adjusting. If your pronunciation feels awkward today, that means change is happening. If everything feels easy, it often means you are not stretching enough. Growth usually feels slightly uncomfortable, and that's okay.
And another powerful part of shadowing is emotional tone. When you shadow, don't copy only the words, copy the feeling. Is the speaker calm, curious, confident? When you imitate emotion, your voice becomes more natural. Many learners sound flat because they focus only on words. English is not only information, it's expression. Shadowing teaches expression without needing explanations.
As we begin this 10-day journey, remember this. You are not trying to sound like a native speaker. You are training yourself to sound like a confident version of you in English. Confidence comes from repetition, not talent. Every day you show up in shadow, you are proving to your brain that English is safe, usable, and part of your life.
So for today, keep it simple. Choose one short audio. Listen carefully. Shadow slowly. Don't stop when you make mistakes. Finish the whole section. When you finish, notice how your body feels. Many learners feel lighter, less tense. That feeling is important. It's a sign that your fear is slowly releasing and fluency grows best in a relaxed system.
We will guide you through each step of this challenge, day by day. You don't need to prepare anything special, just bring consistency and patience. If you stay with us for these 10 days, your speaking will not suddenly become perfect, but it will become freer, smoother, and more confident. And that is real progress.
You are not late. You are not bad at English. You are simply training a skill that was never trained correctly before. Shadowing fixes that. One voice, one sentence, one day at a time.
Now that we've started the challenge and you understand what shadowing really is, let's slow down and talk about how your brain actually changes when you do this practice every day. Many learners think improvement comes from learning more words or more grammar rules, but fluency is mostly about automatic response. Shadowing trains automatic response. When you hear English and your mouth responds immediately, even imperfectly, you are building a new pathway in your brain. That pathway is what fluent speakers use without thinking.
Yes, and this is where patience becomes very important. On day 2, day 3, or even day 5, you might feel like nothing is changing, but inside your brain, something very real is happening. The delay between listening and speaking is getting shorter. Your mouth starts to move without asking permission from your brain. This is a huge shift. Many learners stay stuck because they think first, translate, then speak. Shadowing slowly removes that translation step.
Another key point in this challenge is consistency. Doing shadowing once or twice is helpful, but doing it every day is transformational. When you practice daily, your brain stops treating English as something special or stressful. It becomes normal. Just like brushing your teeth or walking, English becomes a routine activity. This is when fear fades. Fear survives in unfamiliar situations, not familiar ones.
And let's talk honestly about mistakes again, because this topic never gets enough attention. During shadowing, you will mispronounce words, you will drop endings, you will miss sounds. This is not failure. This is training data. Your brain listens to your voice and slowly adjusts. If you stop every time you make a mistake, you block that adjustment process. That's why we always say, continue speaking even if it's messy.
Another key point in this challenge is what I call soft shadowing. This means you don't try to be loud or perfect. You speak softly, almost like you're thinking out loud. This removes pressure. When pressure is low, accuracy improves naturally. Many learners push too hard and create tension in their voice. Tension blocks fluency. Soft shadowing relaxes the system.
Another thing learners often ask is, should I understand every word before shadowing? The answer is no. Understanding grows through repetition. Sometimes you understand first, then speak. Sometimes you speak first, then understanding arrives later. Both paths are valid. If you wait until you understand everything, you may never start. Shadowing allows meaning to appear naturally over time.
In this challenge, we also want you to notice your breathing. Fluent speakers breathe calmly while speaking. Nervous speakers hold their breath. When shadowing, try to breathe naturally and keep your shoulders relaxed. This may sound small, but it has a big impact. A relaxed body supports a fluent voice. You are training your whole system, not just your vocabulary.
Let's also talk about voice identity. Many learners feel strange hearing their own voice in English. They think, this doesn't sound like me. That feeling is normal. You are building a second voice. With shadowing, that voice becomes more familiar. Over time, you stop noticing the difference, and English starts to feel like another natural way to express yourself.
During days 4 to 7 of this challenge, something interesting usually happens. Learners begin to anticipate words. You hear the beginning of a sentence and your mouth already knows what's coming next. This is a strong sign of progress. It means your brain is learning English patterns, not just individual words. Patterns are the foundation of fluency.
And when this happens, confidence often appears quietly, not suddenly, not dramatically. You just notice that speaking feels easier than before. You hesitate less. You stop apologizing for your English. These small changes matter more than perfect pronunciation. Confidence makes people want to listen to you, even if your English is not perfect.
I also want to remind you not to compare yourself with others during this challenge. Everyone's progress looks different. Some people improve pronunciation first. Others improve rhythm. Others feel less fear. All of these are signs of success. Comparison creates pressure, and pressure slows learning. Stay focused on your own voice and your own journey.
At this stage, it's helpful to start shadowing short conversations instead of single sentences. Conversations train turn-taking, intonation, and natural pauses. You learn when to speed up, when to slow down, and how English flows between speakers. This prepares you for real-life conversations, not just practice exercises.
And remember, shadowing is not something you do forever in the same way. It's a bridge from silence to speech, from thinking to expressing, from fear to confidence. In these 10 days, you are not crossing the entire river, but you are building a strong foundation that will support everything you do next.
If today feels hard, that's okay. Hard does not mean wrong. Hard often means new. Stay with it. Speak anyway. Finish the audio. Trust the process, even when progress feels invisible. Many learners quit right before things start to click.
You are not just practicing English right now. You are training courage, patience, and consistency. These skills will stay with you long after this challenge ends. And that is why shadowing is more than a technique. It's a habit that changes how you learn.
Take a deep breath. Relax your shoulders. And when you're ready, let your voice move with the sound again. You are closer than you think.
In the next chapter, we'll bring everything together and help you move from guided shadowing toward more independent, confident speaking. Now we're entering the most important stage of this challenge, because this is where many learners finally realize something powerful. You are no longer learning English in the old way. You are using English. Your brain is not asking permission anymore. It is responding. When you reach this stage, speaking is no longer a test. It becomes an action. You hear English and your voice joins in naturally, even if it is not perfect yet.
This is also the stage where confidence quietly replaces fear. Not loud confidence, not dramatic confidence, but calm confidence. The kind where you don't panic when someone speaks to you. The kind where you don't freeze. You may still make mistakes, but they don't stop you anymore. And this is exactly how fluent speakers are made. Fluency is not the absence of mistakes, it is the absence of fear.
At this point in the challenge, we want you to start noticing how your rhythm has changed. English has a rhythm, like music. When you first started, your speech may have been flat or broken. Now, after days of shadowing, your voice begins to rise and fall more naturally. You stress important words without thinking about rules. This rhythm is something textbooks cannot teach. Only listening and speaking together can create it.
Another big shift happens here. You begin to trust your instincts. You may not know why a sentence sounds right, but you feel that it does. That feeling is extremely important. It means your brain is building an internal sense of English. Native speakers rely on this instinct every day. Shadowing is one of the fastest ways to develop it because it trains your ear and your voice at the same time.
Now, let's talk about how to move beyond guided shadowing. Until now, you've been speaking with the audio. In this stage, we want you to experiment. After shadowing a short conversation, pause the audio and try to continue the conversation on your own. Don't plan, don't write. Just respond naturally. This is where passive practice becomes active speaking.
And when you do this, something interesting happens. You may use words or phrases you don't remember learning. They appear automatically. This is not magic. This is absorption. Your brain has heard these patterns so many times that it starts using them without effort. This is how children learn language, and this is how adults can relearn it too.
It's also important to talk about emotional resistance at this stage. Sometimes when learners improve, a strange fear appears. You might think, what if I speak and people expect more from me? This fear is normal. Improvement creates new expectations, but remember, you are allowed to be a learner at every stage. Fluency is not a final destination. It's a growing ability.
Now, let's bring this challenge into your real life. Start using shadowing moments during your day, while walking, while cooking, while commuting. You don't need a perfect environment. Fluency grows when English becomes part of your normal life, not something special you only do at a desk. Short, relaxed practice is often more powerful than long, stressful sessions.
Another important habit is reflection. At the end of each day, ask yourself one simple question. Did speaking feel easier today than yesterday? Even a small improvement counts. Progress is not always dramatic. Sometimes it's just less tension in your voice. Sometimes it's one sentence spoken without hesitation. These moments matter.
Let's also talk about identity again. By now, you may start to feel that English is becoming part of who you are, not replacing your first language, but standing beside it. This is a beautiful moment in language learning, when English stops feeling foreign and starts feeling usable, expressive, and personal. Shadowing helps you reach this point faster because it connects sound, meaning, and emotion.
As this 10-day challenge comes to an end, remember that shadowing is not something you stop forever. It becomes a tool you return to whenever you feel stuck. New job, new environment, new confidence challenge. Shadowing helps you reset your fluency and reconnect with natural speech.
And if you ever feel discouraged, remember this. You are doing something many people never do. You are training your voice, not just your mind. You're choosing action over silence. That alone puts you ahead of most learners who stay trapped in understanding but never speaking.
Before we close, let me say this clearly. You do not need perfect English to be respected. You do not need a native accent to be understood. What people feel is your willingness to communicate. Shadowing gives you that willingness because it removes fear and builds familiarity.
So keep speaking, keep shadowing, keep trusting the process. Even on days when motivation is low, let habit carry you forward. 10 minutes of shadowing is better than 0 minutes of silence.
You started this challenge with hesitation. You finish it with momentum, and momentum is powerful. It carries you forward even when confidence feels shaky.
Thank you for committing to this journey. Thank you for using your voice. And most importantly, thank you for believing that fluency is possible for you.
We are proud of you. Keep going, and we'll meet you again in the next episode with more real English, more confidence, and more growth.